Welcome back to 504 Road Trips. Today we're continuing east on State Road 30, the former alternate US-98 and locally signed as Front Beach Road, starting around mile 7.6 in the heart of Panama City Beach's resort strip and heading back toward the US-98 main line near St. Andrews Bay. As we roll through this heavily built-up stretch, the roadway is flanked on both sides by high-rise resort hotels and condo towers that show how Panama City Beach has grown from a modest Gulfside resort town into one of Northwest Florida's major beach destinations. Panama City Beach sits on a barrier island along the Gulf of Mexico in Bay County, and the city traces its incorporation to the 1930s and mid-20th century resort boom when a cluster of beach communities unified under one name to leverage tourism driven by bridge access and beachfront development. Moving farther into the core tourist district, the pedestrian activity picks up noticeably, and this segment highlights how Front Beach Road functions as both an arterial highway and a walkable resort strip. A rectangular rapid flashing beacon pedestrian signal ahead of us has been activated, bringing traffic to a halt while a crowd makes its way across the roadway, underscoring the need to balance vehicle flow with heavy foot traffic bound for the beach and roadside attractions. Remember, this was filmed on Thanksgiving Day, so pedestrian traffic is very light during this video. Club Wyndham sits just behind us amongst several other branded resorts, while to the left, an Alvin's Island surf and souvenir shop anchors a cluster of beach retail. A series of restaurants, the Hidden Lagoon go-kart track and mini golf course, and the long-running Funland Arcade all line this stretch, giving visitors plenty of family-friendly entertainment within walking distance of sand and surf.
At the tone, please record your message.
A bit farther east, overhead guide signs split traffic between an express route to the left and a scenic route to the right, reflecting two parallel ways to get through the Panama City Beach area. The route signed as the express option is State Road 392A, a connector that runs a few blocks inland with a higher speed limit, drawing through traffic away from the slow-moving beachfront strip and frequent pedestrian crossings. Remaining on the scenic route keeps us here on State Road 30 along Front Beach Road, hugging the shoreline and offering closer access to beachfront condos, hotels, and beach access points at the cost of lower speeds and heavier stop-and-go traffic. This pairing of a faster inland connector with a slower, more scenic seafront alignment is common along Florida's developed Gulf Coast and gives drivers a choice between efficiency and views depending on their plans. Eventually, the alignment of State Road 30 begins to swing away from the immediate shoreline as we angle back toward the inland spine of US-98 and the bay. At this point, we're in the eastern part of Panama City Beach, and the built environment transitions from continuous beachfront towers to a mix of roadside attractions, commercial strip uses, and cross streets that carry local traffic toward the Grand Lagoon and Hathaway Bridge approaches. Although this section is still clearly oriented toward visitors, it also serves as an important connector for residents who use this corridor to reach employment centers and shopping areas on both sides of St. Andrews Bay. As we continue inland, we approach the junction where State Road 30 meets the eastern end of State Road 392A, tying our scenic beachfront path back into the express connector that ran a few blocks away from the Gulf. This junction area doubles as one of the more visually distinctive tourist nodes in Panama City Beach. On the right is a Ripley's Believe It or Not museum, built to resemble a grounded cruise ship sitting at the corner, while on the left, WonderWorks presents an upside-down building that looks as if an entire classical-style structure has been flipped on its roof. On the right, there's also a lingering sign for US-98 alternate, a designation that applied to this routing when it carried alternate US-98 before that route was decommissioned in 1979, leaving State Road 30 and its local name, Front Beach Road, as the primary identifiers, even as occasional legacy shields like this one survived FDOT's sign removal efforts. Beyond the State Road 392A junction, the character of the corridor shifts gradually from a pure resort strip into more of a suburban coastal approach as we enter the Upper Grand Lagoon area on the north side of Grand Lagoon. Upper Grand Lagoon is an unincorporated census-designated place in Bay County that forms part of the Panama City Beach metro area, with a population in the mid-teens to upper-teens thousands and a median household income in roughly the low to mid-$70,000 range, along with a median home value in the mid-$300,000 range, reflecting its mix of year-round residents and second homeowners in a desirable waterfront setting. Although it lacks an incorporated city government, this community functions as a residential and recreational hub with marinas, charter fishing operations, and waterside restaurants clustered along the lagoon, while inland streets connect back to the main highway network leading toward US-98 and the Hathaway Bridge. The route finally transitions into a limited access configuration as a ramp rises to meet the US-98 main line, bringing this segment to a close near mile 15.3, just west of the Hathaway Bridge over St. Andrews Bay, where we reconnect with the path followed earlier in road trip number 1187. US-98 will carry us across the Hathaway Bridge into Panama City proper in the next episode, a bridge that links the Barrier Island resort city of Panama City Beach with the historic mainland city of Panama City across the wide expanse of St. Andrews Bay. Thanks for watching. We'd like to give special thanks to our channel members on the Navigator level, Bradley Wash, Jimmy B., Jeremy W.C., and Catherine Cawthorn, and on the front seat level, Northwest Indiana Elevators, Redhead, Clark Olson, and Mitch Worthington. You too can become a channel member for as little as $1 a month by clicking the link below. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment below, share and follow us on social media, and join us for our next 504 road trip.